In 2016, you had the Faithful Deflectors who actually voted for Faith Spotted Eagle. She's a 70-year-old woman out of South Dakota. Faith Spotted Eagle and Colin Powell, John Kasich. There was actually 11 deflectors, 11 faithful deflectors. Don't tell me that, faithless bullshit. That's the constitutional way. That's the point of the Electoral College. The point of the Electoral College is to overthrow a demagogue when there's a populist, low-life piece of shit that's got the rabble, the dumb fucking, populist, the democracy, right? They all hate democracy. When you get the dumb crap rabble, the white trash is all, all in a huff about one, kind of piece of crap, just like Andrew Jackson, right, with, who was it, John Quincy Adams. So they overturned that election, 1824. They overturned Andrew Jackson's election because they were like, he's a piece of shit, and that's what the point of the Electoral College is. They called it the corrupt bargain, but that's the legitimate thing that actually happened. Something you don't know is that when there's a tie, or if either one of the candidates is deprived of the majority, then the House contingent runoff election is triggered. So on December 14th is the actual main presidential day. That's the day that we go, 538 electors all go to their state capitals, and it's a big public thing with the Secretary of State, and vote for the president, usually with what, the state wanted, but the Constitution says that they can vote however the fucking way, goddamn way that they fucking please. And so the Electoral College vote, the point is to overthrow the demagogue. The point is to overthrow the democratic election. The whole point of the Electoral College is that the people are crap, and if they fuck up, then we got this fail-safe switch that, we could just kind of push this button and, chuck out the people's, who the people actually wanted. So, people want to be against democracy. Well, shit, then let's chuck out this demagoguery, the moderate or the right-wing extremist Republican, neither one of these, right-wingers. So let's look at what's going on right now. This is all about the faithful deflectors, but I'll get back to that in a second. So Joe had said that last night, we're on track to win. We're on track to win. So he didn't declare victory like he did with the, in the primary, and he was 5th place, right? That's what the Democrats did. The Democrats chose the 5th place loser and put them, put him at the top, right? It was like, oh shit, let's just get Joe on up there. So Joe said last night we're on track to win, but Doe, Doe said we basically won. We basically won. They got more votes, and they won, but we basically won, 248 to 214. Let's just actually get Google up here and do an update. That was when I was writing this up earlier, so who knows, it could be all different. 248 to 214 still. So 248 to 214. They're saying 270 to win. That is not the case. You actually need a buffer. You need to get 276 to win. You need 276 to guarantee, and that's not even a guarantee, but that's at least a little buffer, a little comfortable lead, because if it goes to the Electoral College and you have 11 deflectors, well, 270, all you need is one deflector to make it 269. Now you deprive that person of a majority. So that person has not won the presidency. So 270 is, the number of Electoral College votes that is necessary, but this is not the Electoral College that's voting. This is the American people voting. This is the November straw poll. This is just one big, charade, one big, national suggestion, one big party, right? Just a straw poll. How do you feel, America, about this guy? How do you feel about that guy? All right, now shut the fuck up. Now let's let the adults in the room go vote. That's going to be December 14th. And then the other date that you got to remember is the first week of January. The first week of January you have when they count the votes, and so that's when it becomes official, right? They voted at their state state legislatures, but then they have to get it certified in D.C., and that's when they have this big counting party. So December 14th is when the actual main presidential election happens with the Electoral College, and then the first week of January is when they certify it or whatever. They put a little stamp on it, right? So it becomes official. They double officiate, but that's, you got to vote, and then you got to count the votes, right? So that's just, maybe it's just the double, making sure that they, got it right. So, yeah, Wisconsin went to Joe. That was pretty exciting. Not to Doe. Joe is beating Doe by 34 Electoral College votes. So he's winning by 34, right? Beating him, but he hasn't passed the 270, threshold, which he needs 276. Nevada, Michigan. Joe is winning in Michigan. Joe is winning in Nevada. Joe wins Michigan. It seems like he's got 2 of the 3 swing states for me. That's all it takes. Who wins Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin? So it's up to Michigan, really. Joe is winning those 2 right now. He was winning. Let's just, it's 2:56 p.m. right now. November 4th, the day after the election. So, oh my God, chaos. What is going on? Is this going to go on forever? Just, one of them just quit already when somebody just conceded. Al Gore conceded like the day after, right? Hillary conceded the day after. So, nobody can be humble enough. Just, God, you lost. Just concede already. 248 to 214, Nevada, Alaska, Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia are still out. Those are the swing states, right, or possible swing states. If they go the way that typically, then they weren't. But if they go the opposite way, I think it's like Georgia, right? If Georgia goes to Joe, then it seems to be over. I heard that was, Arizona, the same thing. Alaska, these are, Alaska has 3 Electoral College votes, Nevada 6, Michigan 16, Pennsylvania 20. North Carolina 15 and Georgia 16. So, those 6 states, we got to see what's going on. They seem to have problems counting their votes in those states. All the other states, 44 states seem to know what the hell is going on, but apparently not those 6 states. So the faithful deflectors, okay, this election isn't over. No matter what, if anybody, the media or whoever says one side or the other side won the Supreme Court, you got to stop the votes. None of that shit matters. The only thing that matters is December 14th, the Electoral College votes. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. This is a November straw poll, so-called election day. Not really election day at all. So if we were just I just want to give the overall what's going on, 248 to 214. Joe's winning by 34, but he still has, 22 to get to 270, right? So he actually needs, 28 to get to 76. But let's see, he's due 22 if both Nevada and Michigan goes to Joe, and let's assume that Doe is winning Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, and Alaska. So he's getting, going to get these last 4 states, right? So that's 54 electoral college votes. If Doe wins those 4 states, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Georgia, and Alaska, he still loses. He gets 268, and Joe gets 270. Joe would get 22 with Michigan and Nevada, and therefore he would get 270. Doe gets 268. Therefore, Joe can go ahead and say that he won, the moderate Republican won, but that's not totally the case. He could claim victory, and there's a thing about politics. Who won is the person that's cheering, that's jumping up and down cheering. That's the people who won. So and it's all the illusion of who actually won, not who, it could be authentic, but really none of this shit's fucking authentic. It's all fucking fake as fuck. But nothing will change versus nothing will fundamentally change. So that's, Mr. Nothing will fundamentally change seems to be winning right now, winning by 34, and seems to be, if he gets the 2 states and Doe gets the other 4, he's going to win this whole thing. But that's not, it's not in the cards, and, the Associated Press hasn't called it yet. And so, yeah, Joe, Mr. Crime Bill, the right-wing, moderate, fascist Republican, that's who Joe, Doe is the right-wing, extremist, fascist Republican, right? One's the rapist, racist, and then the other is the rapist, racist. Oh, fuck. What, 2 crappy, shitty choices, lesser of the 2 evil, nonstop till the day we die, right? Non-voters, they have no idea, we got no idea what the hell they're even doing, just lazy, good, hey, you want to go vote? No. Why not? I don't care about democracy or civics or the community, just pro-fascism, just let the, fascists run shit. Who gives a fuck, right? Who gives a goddamn fuck? So December 14th is when the main presidential election happened. That's when we're going to find Mr. Progressive X. Mr. Progressive X is going to emerge up out of the ashes. Mr. Progressive X is going to be the Faith Spotted Eagle, or the Colin Powell of 2020, or the John Kasich, the electoral college voter that votes for somebody that their state did not vote for. December 14th, that's 40 days from now, right? It's November 4th. Then December 4th plus 10 days, 30 plus 10, 40 days from now is December 14th. That's when the main presidential election is going to happen. So whether Joe or Doe, they both kind of claim some kind of victory, right? They're on track. They basically won. So none of that, when it comes to December 14th, it's got to be a majority victor. You can't have none of that plurality bullshit. Look up plurality. Read your Constitution, America, because this is going to be huge. This is very important. The Electoral College is where the actual presidential election happens. Your fucking vote did not matter. You went out and you all voted, but it didn't fucking matter. So when everybody's like, oh no, everything's going to collapse and crumble and the Civil War is on its way, we haven't even had our presidential election yet. So, hold your fucking horses and wait until we get our goddamn presidential election. Wait until after the election happens before complain about this or that. And then maybe even wait after the first week of January when the counting, when the official results become official, certified. The official results become certified and official. So each state's electors meet in respective state capital the first Monday after the second Wednesday of December to cast their votes. That's middle of December. This year's December 14th. The first week of January, the results are tabulated by Congress before a joint session of senators and the House Representatives, presided over by the Vice President as the presidential chair of the Senate. So the Vice President is going to be chairing both the Senate and the House of Reps. This is going to be the outgoing people, and so the outgoing people are going to be Pence, right, going to chair, and then they're going to sit there and tabulate them. They're going to count these votes the first week of January. If the Electoral College doesn't produce a majority victor, if neither one, the last year was 11, right? There was 11 faithful deflectors. So, right, since the margins are so close, Joe says 270, Doe says 268. Neither one have a guaranteed victory. All you need is a couple, just two faithful deflectors. Once you get two faithful deflectors, then it's now it's Donald, now it's Doe's game, or it's Juju's, JoJo Biden, right? Whatever is, fuckface McGee. So one vote is assigned to each of the 50 states, each delegation. This is the House contingent election, right? So you deprive both the Democrat and the Republican of a majority. They don't get, either they tie, right? Maybe they both get 270. That's fine too. Get 270 or less. If both of them get 270 or less, then they cannot claim the presidency because they did not get the majority. The majority is greater than 50%, which translates to 50% plus one. But specifically, majority is greater than 50%. And you got 10 people in a room. The majority is 6. Right? 5 is just half. That's not the majority. You got to have half plus 1. So the majority, December 14th, out of the 535 electors, that has to be. They got to beat 270. If they don't beat 270, that's when that's the day they got to beat 270. That's the day that they got to meet 270. So right now, it's just a suggestion. You have no idea what it's actually going to be, but on December 14th, they've got to get 270. If they don't get 270, then it goes to the House contingent election. And the House contingent election is amongst themselves to just those 535, House of Representatives reps, or 425, just, how many ever, right? 400 people. Those hundreds of people are in a room, and they're going to vote. And they're going to vote on each one of the states. So every state gets one vote. So the whole delegation, right, whether it's 9 people or 7 or what have you, gets one vote per state. And they only get to vote for one candidate. 26 is the majority, and they've got to win majority, with the House contingent election. If that still doesn't happen, then we don't really fucking know. But that's how long this process goes out. So let's just, let's say Progressive X, Faith Spotted Eagle. Let's assume my greatest hopes happen. Progressive X, Faith Spotted Eagle, somebody in Wisconsin or Florida gets, cocky, and the Democrats thought they was going to vote for the Democrat, but they get up to the table to go vote, and they vote for Faith Spotted Eagle. So now they've been deprived of the majority, right? Neither Democrat nor Republican has a majority, so neither one can claim victory, and now you got to pick the top 5. I've heard top 5 and top 3. Top 5 would be the tops, right? That would be the toppy tops, the tippy tops. Top 5 would be fantastic. Top 3 is good enough because that means Faith Spotted Eagle has a chance. Top 5 means, Colin Powell, John Kasich has a chance too. So top 3, top 5, I'll have to, get back to you on that. But the House contingent election, that's what, Henry Clay called it. That's amongst themselves, and that happens after they have lost the majority. If Hillary and Donald had been deprived of a majority, it would have gone to the House contingent election. If Gore or Bush or Kerry or Bush or Obama and McCain or Obama and Romney, if any one of them had been deprived of a majority of Electoral College votes, it would have triggered that House contingent election, which would be historic. We've only done it a couple times, and we've done it, never in modern history, but a long-ass fucking time ago. We deprived Andrew Jackson of his rightful, he won the Electoral College, got the most votes, most total votes of the people vote, popular vote, Electoral College vote, still lost the whole fucking thing. So the Electoral College, that's the whole point, is to overthrow a demagogue, especially the ones that the people love, right? The people voted for them, no, the Electoral College, it's an aristocratic institution, so to overthrow the people's candidate, the rabble, the white trash crap, and then to put in their pro whatever, Wall Street imperialist corporatist agenda. So they need a majority victor on December 14th, and if they don't get a majority victor on December 14th, whenever the House does the contingent election, they got to get a majority, in the House. And so what I could see happen for Faith Spotted Eagle when it goes to the House, that both Republicans and Democrats are deadlocked, right? They're just too close, and they just keep on being partisan, so they can't, make heads or tails, and they don't know what to do, and then they look at Faith Spotted Eagle, and you know what? Faith Spotted Eagle is okay. The first Native American president of, female Native American president ever in the history. She's 70. She might not even make it, but it'd be, let's give it to that Native American over there. I could see shit like that happening. I think it could be the independent that, brings the red and blue divide, bring it back together to heal the wounds, to heal the country, blah, 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 whatever. So, the main point, it's still anybody's game. It's still anybody's game. December 14th is when the real presidential election happens. A lot of times people just assume that, all the electors are going to vote the way that the state votes, but that you shouldn't assume that way, because we've had lots of times there's been faithful deflectors. So there's only 3 rules you need to be an American president. You got to be a U.S. citizen, you have to win the election, right, and then you have to be 35 years of age. That's it. Just be 35 years of age, be a U.S. citizen, get elected. Now you're the American citizen or American president. That means AOC, she cannot be the president for right now, but maybe next time. So 248 to 214. So that's, that's close. The spread, you need a spread of 11, because 2016, let's just assume we're going to have the same amount of faithful deflectors for 2020. That's 11. So 11 faithful deflectors. If it goes to 270 to 268, which is how it's looking like Joe's going to win by 2, which is by the skin of his chin, which is also the suggestion. It's the straw poll. It's not the actual election. So we have to 11 faithful deflectors will completely change it from one way or the other way. If 2 of Joe's voters goes and votes someone else, now they're tied. And if, one of Don's, whatever. So it's very close. 2 is not, I would not feel confident that having, the perception, the perception that you got 1 or 2 point victory. Well, I got 2-point victory. Well, they could deflect. The Electoral College voters could deflect. You don't know until December 14th. You can't say shit until December 14th. So if they don't get 276 December 14th, they got to beat that spread, right? So 276, 264 beats that spread. If they don't get 276, then, December 14th may change everything. And it doesn't look like Joe or Doe is on the path to winning 276 Electoral College votes. Now, last couple things I want to mention. Amy Coney Barrett, right, ACB, is an originalist. She's a textualist. So it's Supreme Court is now 6-3. They're an originalist, strict constructionalist, textualist, meaning that the meaning of the words is what the words mean. The point of the words, how they meant it when they were written and the time that they were written, that's what the law is. And so they're just basically saying the law is the law, right? The law is how the Washington wrote it up in 1789. She'll interpret the Electoral College as the Constitution dictates that it will be. So ACB is an originalist, is a textualist. How is the Electoral College? What is the point of the Electoral College? They're the main voters. They can vote however the hell they want to vote, okay? And here's a couple historical examples. In 2000, you had Barbara Lett Simmons. She's a District of Columbia. So the District of Columbia, they had a vote. The District of Columbia had a vote, elect her for Gore. She was supposed to vote for Gore. Instead, she cast a blank ballot, and that was supposed to protest what many said that D.C. is a colonial city. Since D.C. is a colonial city, then then she didn't vote at all. So the Electoral College, the Al Gore. Isn't that rude? That's rude. Is it really that big of an emergency? So Miss Lett Simmons cast a blank ballot to protest what many refer to as D.C.'s colonial status. 1988, Ronald Reagan v. Michael Dukakis. There was one faithless elector from West Virginia. West Virginia seceded from Virginia in order to join Abe Lincoln in the Union and fight against slavery and in defense. Remember when West Virginia was awesome? Remember when West Virginia was fantastic? Now they fucking suck, a bunch of just a whole big old bag of just all the dick hole, all the dick cheese and all the dick holes and all the bags of dicks in the world. That's how bad West Virginia sucks. Margaret Leach cast her vote for Democratic Vice President nominee Lloyd Bentsen as president, and Dukakis as the vice president. So she switched it up, right? So Lloyd Bentsen was famous for telling what's his name, Dan Quayle, that he said he was a friend of Jack Kennedy. So Lloyd Benton, he said, I knew Jack Kennedy. I was friends with Jack Kennedy, and you, my friend, are no Jack Kennedy. And then, Dan Quayle was like, that's very rude. How dare you say that, of me, and you need to apologize right now. And it was like, are you even, you're like a psycho, right? You're not even part of this what do you think is happening right now? You are not Jack Kennedy. And Lloyd Bentsen, it was a famous line. So, fucking Chomsky, he says, just vote and keep on moving. Motherfucker, get a progressive at the top and watch how this entire thing evolves into a Garden of Eden. This, America could become a progressive wonderland, Wonderwall. What a stupid motherfucker. What a goddamn moronic idiot fuck, goddamn Noam Chomsky. Even Nader, both of them are, telling their, sycophant followers to get in line and get into the Democratic Party. It would have been a better conversation if we would just said, vote your conscience. Vote your conscience. Vote however you want to vote. We're not going to bully you. We're not going to shit on you. We're not going to shame you. We're going to just talk to you and educate you. And, maybe something might convince you. Maybe not, but let's all go vote and let's have conversations. Let's have good, honest conversations. This is America. We're supposed to be the greatest democracy in the world. Fucking Chomsky. So a progressive wonderland, right? A Garden of Eden, a wonder wall. Today is going to be the day that they're going to throw it back to you. By now, you should have somehow realized what you got to do. So I wish Chomsky and Nader didn't debase themselves by ordering their sycophants to get into the Democratic Party fold. But Andrew Jackson, or Alexander Hamilton, he wanted to make sure of this moral certainty, to make sure that a talentless demagogue never becomes president who doesn't have the requisite qualifications and an eminent degree, doesn't take over the White House. That's what Alexander Hamilton wants. Y'all watched him in a hip-hop opera, but you didn't read him, did you? You have no idea what the hell Hamilton's talking. The whole point of the Electoral College is to overthrow that fucking talentless, dumbass demagogue. If you got a piece of shit demagogue, populist that somehow got, the people vote for him, but he's just dog shit, the whole point of the Electoral College is you can overturn it, and you can, create new. And, like I said, a Garden of Eden wonderland. And, so that's a little bit about the faithful deflectors. It's happened in history several times. It happened in 2000, right? It happened in a bunch of stuff, right? Some people said they misspelled the word or something. Somebody wrote John Kerry or John who was his running mate? John Edwards instead of John Kerry, and so John Edwards ended up getting the Electoral College vote or some bullshit. So sometimes it's like an accident, right? It happened in 1988 when she voted for Lloyd Bentsen, and it happened in 2000 when she voted for nobody. She just left it blank. So yeah, let's wait till December 14th to see what actually happens. I'm hoping for a dark horse, progressive ex-candidate, a faith-spotted eagle, an Electoral College, a faithful deflector to put another person's name out into the arena so the House of Reps can choose between not just Tweedledee and Tweedledum, the lesser of the two evils, but they actually have the top 3 or the top 5, right? So 3, 4, or 5. They actually have, some more options and perhaps a better option, right? And really, dog shit is better than both of these assholes. Let's just make a bag of dog shit president. What say you? All in favor, say aye. 316, John Masters, Southern Colorado, November 4th, 2020. Joe's went in 248 to whatever and some 214, and then it looks like he's on his way to victory, but only barely, and it's only a suggestion, so we're not even going to know one way or another. So this is going to be fun, America. Let's actually see what America's, our republic, our democratic republic. Let's see how our democratic, republic actually functions. I think this is exciting. These are exciting times. Is it not? Is this not? Anyways. All right. Peace.